time, and instead of tapping the exact rhythm, I want you to tap the subdivision of the beat. So tap the subdivision of the beat. Not yet, so I probably would say tap the division of the beat. Tap the notes that are less than, or that there's more than one per beat.
Or in between the beat.
So let's try that. Ready and go. My pony lies over the ocean. My pony lies over the sea. My pony lies over the ocean. Okay, pause. Raise your hand. You know how many taps per beat? How many taps? Ready? Say it. 3. Go ahead and sit down. 3 taps per beat. So let's say that each one of those is an 8th note. Each one of those taps is an 8th note. Okay, so, but the 8th note doesn't get the beat. 3 8th notes gets the beat. So let's add them together. And let's go back to 4/4 just to help our brains a little bit because we're used to that. Let's go back to 4/4. How much does a half note or 8th note get in 4/4?
Half a beat.
Half a beat, half a beat, half a beat. So all that, how many beats is that? In 4/4.
1.5.
1.5. If we wanted to tie these together, then we could have a what? Dotted quarter note. Dotted quarter note. So the dotted quarter note equals this, and I'll erase this just so it doesn't confuse. But we're not in 4/4, we're in something else. The dotted quarter note gets the beat. So 2 beats per measure, the dotted quarter note gets the beat. So when I say time signature, you're going to say time signature, meter, 2 beats per measure, the dotted quarter note gets the beat. Ready? Time signature.
Time beats. There are two beats per measure.
The dotted quarter note
Gets the beat.
Do it one more time, just for our mouths. Ready? Go.
Time signature. 2 beats per measure. Quarter note gets the beat.
Now I might just stay on that for one day and then just practice a bunch of these songs with 2 beats per measure. The dotted quarter note gets the beat. Or actually, the next step for me probably would be, okay, what is the difference if we have Rocky Mountain, and we know Rocky Mountain's in 2/4. What is the difference between the way we divide this beat and the way we divide the beat in Rocky Mountain?
It's divided in 2 instead of 3.
Yes, it's divided in 2 instead of 3. So we get 2 8th notes for each beat, and in this one we get 3 8th notes per each beat. Now, this would be probably the second day, and we would talk about this is pretty simple, right? It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy. 2 beats per measure, the quarter note gets the beat. This is a little bit more complex. It's it's 2 beats per measure, but how do we write this right here?
1/2.
We could do 4 dot,
4 dot.
or we could do 1.5, or we could do all kinds of different things, but they'd be kind of complex. So this is a different type of meter. This one right here is called simple meter. Everybody say simple meter.
Simple meter.
Take your hands and make the heartbeat and say simple meter. The beat divides in 2. Ready? Simple meter.
Simple meter. The beat divides in 2.
And then this one is called, does anybody know the name of this one? You pianists in the room, ready? Say it. Compound meter. Because it's compound, it's like compound fractions. You have to do some computation for it. So compound meter, so it goes like this. Compound meter. The beat divides in 3. So ready? Compound meter.
Compound meter. The beat divides in 3.
So this has, and we call it subdivisions of the beat. So this is 2 subdivisions per beat, and this is how many subdivisions?
3 subdivisions
per beat. So then we would learn compound, and simple. So that's another day. So now they know this thing is 2 beats per measure, the dotted quarter note gets the beat. And this thing is 2 beats per measure, the quarter note gets the beat. This one's simple, this one's compound, and then we have that in their heads. So then the next day, when we come to class, we say, remember how we talked about we don't know what we can write for that bottom note. Well, one thing you have to remember about music is this. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. But I do know which came first, music or this. Music came first. We've always had music, and then we had to come up with a way to write it. The first way that they came up with was this, but then they ran into a big problem when they tried to start writing this. And so they couldn't use the rules that they had always used, so they had to make something up differently. They had to change it to it's not beats per measure up here anymore. On compound meter, and just on compound meter, well actually we could say on asymmetrical meter too. On compound, but I don't talk about that. On compound meter, we have how many subdivisions per measure. So 6 subdivisions per measure. And what note gets the subdivision? So 6 subdivisions per measure, the 8th note gets the subdivision. Question, Angie.
I'm just wondering, what if instead of saying beats per, what if we just said counts per measure, and the 8th note gets the count? 2 beats per measure, the quarter note gets the count. Like, would that throw everything into a tizzy if we call it counts instead of beats?
So you'd have to say 6. You'd say 6 counts per measure. Yeah, you could say 6 counts per measure. The 8th note gets the count.
Yeah.
You could do that. However, it wouldn't draw their attention to the fact that the feel of this is not 6.
Right.
And I want to say that several years ago in our district, we had a bloody